Hi, travelers. Tara here. I know you guys haven't heard from me in a long time. Um, Most of you know, well, you don't know perhaps, but I went through Hurricane Harvey here in Texas on the South Coast. And so for a whole week, we were without power. Then I fell off the back porch and injured my foot. So I'm kind of hobbling around. And so I've been behind on lots of things. For those of you who are website members, I finally have all of the videos up. But unfortunately, the gallery isn't working for some reason. I don't know why that is. I did contact the developer. As a matter of fact, we just exchanged a few emails a few minutes ago. So perhaps that can be fixed for you. But while you're waiting, because you guys have been waiting for a while, and I really want to thank you for your patience and understanding about the whole situation, there's a workaround page. So when you log into your members area, just click the link where it says, workaround page here. Click on that. It ain't pretty, but you can access the monthly videos, okay? Now, starting in October, I'm going to be bringing you a brand new gallery. It's going to be romance readings, all romance, for each individual sign, but that's starting in October. I'm about to, after I finish this video, I will be bringing you part 2 and part 3, not both of them today, of the Saturn article. So just kind of bear with me. I'm trying to get back up to speed. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys a Casanova reading. We haven't read with Casanova in a long time. This is going to be a general reading. The messages will not resonate with everyone. Let's get some incense across the table here. If you're interested in purchasing a reading from me, I do readings by phone, but I also do private video readings where you are able to download that video and save it so it's yours. I don't load to YouTube because it takes all day. You get the link through Google Drive where you can access it. That's yours to save. I do astrology readings, Akashic Records reading, and etheric cord cutting readings. If you haven't been over to the website, go over and take a look. There's lots of products. There's lots of information. So if you want to join, there's 3 different levels, $7, a 30-day membership, 6-month membership for $28. That's recurring, and a yearly membership for $50. So that's it. So let's get started. I've already done some pre-shuffling of the cards, and one card came out. Let's go ahead and see what that says. We have a 9 of Swords. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Casanova deck, each deck has its own different language. Each deck speaks differently. And so that 9 of Swords is not what you would think it is, okay? Let's go ahead and get the rest of the cards down. We're going to be clarifying with the La Vida Sibilas, and I'm going to pull one angel answer card and one one heart angel answer and one romance angel card, okay? Queen of Pentacles. The Judgment. The 4 of Pentacles. The 5 of Pentacles. Wow. The 7 of Pentacles. Whoa. The 2 of Pentacles. The 6 of Wands. And the Ace of Cups. Well, it's a profusion of coins here. So for some of you, this is there's some finances tied up here. Not tied up, but there's a financial issue here. It's kind of a confusing financial issue. We go from a 4 to a 5 to a 7 and then a 2. We start with the Queen. Under the deck, well, there is the King of Pentacles. So this is the overall energy. So I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with here on 2 levels. Let me show you the cards. You saw the 9 of Swords. There is the Queen of Pentacles. There is the Judgment card. Now, what's interesting about this card is that man seated. That is Casanova, but he is representative of the emperor, okay? Then I have the 4 of coins. Can you guys see that? The 5 of coins. The 7 of coins. The 2 of coins. The 6 of wands. And this lovely Ace of Cups. Now, right in the center, we have the 5 of coins. And in this deck, the 5 of coins speaks to being blind to how you got yourself into a situation, okay? It speaks to poverty. There are many ways to be poor, not just financially poor. You can be morally poor. You can be emotionally poor. You can be spiritually poor. So it speaks to poverty, but it also speaks to the condition of poverty in the sense of things that you yourself have done to create that sense of poverty or that feeling of poverty or that place of poverty, and being blind to that through your choices. You see, he's got one leg, he's got a crutch, and he's blindfolded. Now, he's begging for money. There are none who are so blind as eyes that cannot see or will not see, okay? Now, in one respect, what I'm looking at here, again, there's finances tied up here, and what I'm getting is that this is a couple, perhaps married, perhaps shacked up, I don't know. We have the king and the queen, and that represents a couple. Now, the way it works in the tarot is typically if you are married, whatever sign, sun sign, perhaps that your husband has or your partner has, you will show up in the deck, in the spread, as the mate. So some of you may be dealing with an earth sign male, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Maybe they even have a rising or a moon sign. I do not read for moon and rising signs in personal readings, so don't ask, okay? But I'm throwing that out there because I'm reading for so many people. If that person is not of an earth sign, then what it tells me is that this person is wealthy. Perhaps they own a lot of businesses or have a lot of finances. Maybe they're a banker, maybe they're an accountant, maybe they've invested and they've saved their money. But it implies that there is a lot of wealth, material wealth around this individual. I think this is why we see all of the coins here. But what I'm looking at with the 9 of Swords, the 9 of Swords is in this particular deck. Let me let you look at that. It speaks to a relationship that Casanova had with a woman who was not as educated as he. But nevertheless, it was a relationship in which he found great comfort and great solace. So in this deck, the 9 of Swords is about people coming from 2 different worlds or 2 different backgrounds, but yet and still there's an affinity there. There's a comfort there for the 2 of them in times of trouble. And I see here with this Queen of Pentacles, the way it works. Let me see if I can get the cards down. There we go. It's past, present, future, and then the interplay of the cards. So this row on the top tells me that this relationship, maybe it was that the person may have been at a higher social status or maybe a higher educational status. Nevertheless, at one point, it was the type of relationship where you found comfort with each other, okay? But now it speaks to this Queen of Coins. And this Queen of Coins in this deck speaks to somebody who's able to get whatever they want, Now, she can get this by being sweet or she can get this by being manipulative. But something has changed here. And the reason why I say that is because I have the 5 in the center of the spread. And 5s speak to changes, okay? We see that across the top row in the past row, there's a judgment here. So I'm not exactly sure if this is a split, if it's a separation, or if it is, these are swords, thoughts, belief, perceptions, and ideas. Perhaps the idea, the relationship has changed, the male and the female. And this is going to apply whether this is same sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the male, whomever's going to take the role of the female. It implies that the thoughts have changed about each other. At one point, it was a kind of relationship where you found great comfort in it. But now we see, in terms of this King of Coins, his perception is changing of this queen. Now he feels that she may be greedy. But by the same token, she feels that he's also, well, maybe he's being stingy right now. There's a judgment here. So something has been suspended, okay? And the reason why I'm speaking to greed and avarice, we have the 4 of coins. And this is the card of greed and avarice. It says that he's so busy counting his own purse that he ignores what's right next to him. There she is, all naked, looking all sexy, and he ain't even paying her no attention. Well, this leads us to the 5 of coins. There are none who are so blind as they cannot see. This is the 7 of Pentacles. Now, this is the card of, the story behind this card is that this woman that Casanova is servicing is a married woman, okay? And basically this is, in a sense, sex for the sake of sex. She's ecstatic about it. Maybe she just wants to have sex. But he's just kind of, okay, I'll do this. So what this implies is that this relationship, perhaps that this queen is indulged in, and I do feel that it is the woman and not the king. I feel that the Queen of Coins is indulging in an adulterous affair because her husband is no longer paying her any attention, okay? The feelings have changed. And so basically this is, she's just doing something, I guess, maybe to make herself feel better. But this 7 of Pentacles also speaks to waiting for the harvest to come in, okay? I don't know why exactly this queen is waiting and or what she's waiting for, but I do feel that it has to do with the judgment and it has to do with finances, okay? But I believe that the king is completely oblivious to this right now. Or maybe he knows and he doesn't care, okay? And the reason why I bring that up, I can see on this past row here, we see that this 2 of coins speaks to hedonism, and it speaks to indulging yourself in pleasures, regardless, not necessarily regardless of the consequences, but simply doing something because it feels good. So in one respect, it could be as well that this king in the past himself has done something to break the trust within the relationship. Okay, we see there's a judgment here. This 5 of coins in the center, normally this card is the most pivotal because of where it sits, but this 5 of coins in the center speaks volumes to me. We see there's a judgment. Well, here, let me decide. We see this card is about revealing yourself and knowing that there's been a price tag. Someone is judging your value. And I would dare say with all of these coins, that is the underlying message, the value, okay, of self, the value of trust, the value of relationship, the value of sex and sharing. If people don't want to share their money with you, they're not willing to share their time, their body, their heart, their thoughts, anything else with you. That's a stingy person, okay? And so I do feel in one respect that this six of wands, it stands out to me. And this is the only card in the spread that doesn't make any sense to me. So let me see what the meaning of it is, and then I might be able to. Yes, it speaks to rivalry and prejudices and a passing moment. Okay. I do feel This is a very delicate situation. I think it's a very tentative situation. I think there's been a lot of betrayal. I think that the majority of the relationship, at one point, it may have been really a good relationship, but now basically it's all come down to material things. Okay? And there's a value. I keep picking up like trophy wife. Trophy wife. And what is a value? It's great to be a trophy wife, I guess, at the beginning, because you get everything that you want. But eventually, that begins to fall hollow. There's only one major arcana in this, and this is the Judgment. Okay? But I also feel that however this situation plays out, it's almost like you get an offer here. There's an offer, and the reason why I'm saying that is we see the Judgment, the Four of Coins, someone who's counting their money. They're based very heavily. And this tells me, you know, the thing about the King of Coins and the Queen of Coins is that they can be, on the one hand, very grounded, practical, sensible people. But on the other hand, from their negative aspects, they can become quite material based or despotic and debase. And in one respect, that's what I'm getting, like the relationship has degraded to the level where really now it's all about the money. And I would dare say that this King of Coins holds the key. The reason why I say that, see, that's the Tower behind him. That's the Tower. And in one respect, it's like he's trying to hide. His whole self is cloaked. His face, his head, everything. He's got gloves on. And he's trying to hide from perhaps what he knows to be certain ruin. Okay? And it's not necessarily ruin per se. For some people, giving up any of their finances is like the end of the world to them, right? But basically what that's saying is that he's trying to hide from something that he knows he can no longer sustain. And it really doesn't have to do with the finances, the actual money. It has to do with the spiritual lesson of what value is. Okay, and this has broken down. The relationship has broken down, and it can no longer stand the way that it is. And so, of course, if this is a marriage and there's property involved, then what this says is that, you know, depending on the length of the marriage or whatever, perhaps there is going to be some exchange of finances, yes? But at the same time, the question becomes, what is it worth to you? Now, there's an old saying, they say it's cheaper to keep her. You know, there's an old saying. And so there's an offer coming. And this offer, it's an Ace of Cups. This offer is an opportunity to either reset this situation in the sense that it's going to give you an opportunity to clear the slate, clear the decks, and begin anew from an emotional sense. Okay? I'm trying to see if I have any other. I don't have any repeater. And, you know, this is quite interesting because I have 1, 2. I'm missing a 3. Then I have 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm missing an 8. So the 3 is the building or the start of something. It is that aspect of the joy you feel when you start something new. when two things come together to make a third thing in and of itself. The 8 speaks to nearing the completion of something. Those cards are missing, as well as the 10. The 10 says that's going to be a final, you're at the last stages of this. There's no 10 here. But what we have is, and I could say in effect, we also have 2 2s, because if in the numerology of the tarot, I break the 20 down, 2 plus 0 is 2. So I have the 2 here and a 2 there. Now 2 2s speak to marriage or commitment. That's what it means. I'm going to look at something, so bear with me. It tells of a commitment or an engagement. Now, I don't know if this means that this king is there's going to be a divorce and a remarriage to someone else. 2 2s, harmonious changes and communication, and or the need to make a choice. Okay? Let's clarify. I'm going to look at the Judgment, the 7 of Coins, and the 6 of Wands. No, not the 6 of Wands. The Judgment, the 7 of Coins, those 2 cards. Now, I don't think that there are I really don't think there's it's like he became totally disinterested, the king, in his wife or his partner. And if this is the case, the feeling that's coming off of this spread is that it's not that he doesn't love you or stop caring about you. It's just that for whatever reason, his feelings are not the same. Okay? That may not make it any easier, I know, but the Judgment. Consolences, the Gran Consolazione. Success achieved after a long time. It's in the past position. La Donna de Servizio. This is the helper card, so this is something positive. This Judgment coming. The Allegrezza al... Sorry, hang on one second. Sorry about that. That was a very important phone call. So, I left off at the 3 cards, the Gran Consolazione, the La Donna del Servizio, and the Allegrezza al Cuore, but it falls on the Judgment card. So what this says to me, this is my vertical future column. What this says to me is that there is there's a momentary pause on this. Because there are decisions that need to be made. It's not necessarily, I'm going to say, maybe a legal issue, but at the same time, even though I don't have like the Justice here or an Ace of Swords, there are some legalities involved in this. You have to remember we're still in the Jupiter and Libra cycle, and Libra represents justice and legal issues. So a lot of times what will happen during this particular cycle, and those of you who've been reading, who've read the articles on the website, will know that Libra is all about fairness and balance. And when Jupiter in Libra, the cycle comes, it's once every 12 years. Then what you have is marriages, divorces, mergers, separations, corporate changes, anything that has to do with partnerships. So this is familial partnerships, friendships, personal relationships, and business relationships. Now, I wanted to look at this Seven of coins. You know, and now that I'm looking at it, I said I wasn't going to look at the Six of Wands, but I am. Something is just telling me to take a look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. And then we're going to close this reading out, okay? The Morte. Wow, that's interesting. The Messaggere. And the Ammalato. Now, this is what's going on, let's say, for instance, presently. And the Morte is, this Seven of Coins is about someone being more elated than the other person, okay? And I also feel, in one respect, why that is because this guy in the Five of Coins doesn't see his way yet through this. I think what it's telling me is there is a value in this in some respect, but by the same token, there is an unsurety. There is a hesitancy. This is a change. Fives always speak to change, something new coming in to destabilize the environment or situation. So the Morte comes in to say that this feeling of somebody being more happy than the other, well, that's going to end. It's going to end through some kind of message coming from afar. But at the same time, there's this quality of sadness around it. I don't know why that is. Someone feeling weak. Someone feeling perhaps maybe tired. I don't know, you know. I don't see any cards of travel here, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm going to pull cards on this Six of Wands here. Nevertheless, the outgoing energy is the Ace of Cups. So even if the situation looks bleak right now or confusing, and that seven is confusion. Seven speak to an internal conflict. And what I'm picking up is that not necessarily that there's any worry, but that it's just unsurety. It's a 5 and a 7. There's unsurety here. Unsurety. That ain't even uncertainty. It's not even a word. Unsurety. The l'amica, the friend, the confidant. The l'amante, female lover. And the casa. Falling on this Six of Wands. Now let's go back and read, because it has more than the meaning that I read to you. When I first picked it up, I had to give you the rivalry and the prejudice. What it says is a passing adventure, a fleeting moment, happiness for small things. Now, maybe that passing moment or that fleeting adventure is this. But the house, the casa, represents a stability here. And the l'amica represents a relationship of trust. So what I would assume about this is that this really is going to be, I think there's going to be, it really is about the value of the relationship. Yes, there's finances involved, but this is really about the value of the relationship and the value that each person has to another. Okay? So when I first read it, everything I said about before I put the Sibilas down still holds. This could be a couple who they're going through marital problems. They're having issues. And, you know, neither one of them, perhaps both of them have had outside affairs. But the other story that's being presented here with the Sibilas is that there is the possibility of a new romance coming in that right now is fraught with a little tension. There are changes happening on many, many different levels. There are finances involved. There are decisions that need to be made. There's uncertainty. But I think that ultimately, leading out with this Ace of Cups, is that this really is going to be a new opportunity, a new, fresh emotional opportunity. That's the second story. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull these cards up, and I want you to concentrate on one question for the angel answer cards. That's a lot of stuff going on in that spread. It really is. Oh, I would bet you my charcoal has burnt down. Let's see. Put a little piece on there just in case. Hold on. Go ahead and formulate your question. No, it's still burning. Good deal. All right. Formulate your question. One card. Now, formulate a question for the romance angels. Wow. Now, some of you are wondering what you should do, or if you should do anything at all. The card says take action. Let me read you this. I've never seen this card show up before, so. It says the time has come to take action. Your angels are waiting for you to take the next step so that they can assist you along the path to your dreams. Do away with procrastination and uncertainty. In your heart, you know what to do. Get going. Whether you're focused upon career, relationships, or some other topic, the fulfillment of your wishes isn't just going to fall into your lap. You must be actively focused on the pursuit of what you want. For others of you who asked about the romance angel card, perhaps you're wondering what the connection is between you and the person. It says a past life relationship. You have known each other before. The romance angels sent you this card to explain the relationship you've inquired about. You have some unfinished business in conjunction with the soulmate from a past life. This may involve forgiving someone, a joint project, or learning personal lessons such as patience. Soulmates recognize each other instantly, and this feeling is often registered as a sense of romantic or sexual chemistry. The magnetism that draws two people together can surpass logic because the purpose of the relationship is healing and learning. Whether or not your soulmate becomes your life partner, you'll experience personal and spiritual lessons and growth as a result. Well, there you have it. I hope those messages helped. Thank you for allowing me to read for you, and until next time, namaste. Oh, by the way, if you want to get to my website, simply click on the little link there in the upper right-hand corner. That'll take you directly over. You can also find the web address under the description of the video and in the About box section. Till next time, namaste.